You'll feel the muscle way more if you can get your leg really high. Get that foot way up in the air, okay? Hey guys, Mark McKellar. I'm with Live Anabolic. Have you heard that before? Anyway, today I want to talk about really good exercises that you can do at home that you're probably not already doing. So I just got on the computer because I wanted to see how many different exercises are actually in my Fit After 50 program. A lot of you guys watching right now have probably heard of that, but for those of you who have not, you really ought to check it out. I got a fantastic at-home workout program. You do everything with just some dumbbells and an inexpensive set of resistance bands. Okay, it's 3 months, 3 phases. It's been wildly popular, and you really should check it out. But that's not what today's video is about. I have roughly 120 different exercises in my Fit After 50 program. Could you possibly imagine 120 exercises that you can do at home with nothing but some dumbbells and some inexpensive resistance bands? I didn't either until I developed it several years ago. All right, but I'm going to give you some exercises that are not in that program that I'm going to show you today. And then a couple of these are kind of off the wall or not very typical, and they actually are in my workout program. But because they're fairly unusual, people are probably not doing them on a regular basis. So I have 6 different exercises I want to go over with you guys. I think you'll find them really kind of fun and interesting. They're not just your normal, dumbbell curls or dumbbell presses. These are kind of fun, different types. And then also, because they're different and unique, they are hitting muscle groups from slightly different angles, which means you're having to use kind of a different mind-muscle connection while you're performing these exercises. And of course, that's part of the way serious competitive bodybuilders actually build muscle, besides the fact that they take a ton of steroids. The guys that are really serious about building muscle do lots of different types of exercise for each individual muscle group, because you hit the muscles from different angles, and because your brain activity calls on different muscle fibers to fire when you're doing these different exercises. You actually work a bigger percentage of your muscles overall when you really mix it up. And then of course the other thing is, because they're different and unique, it makes it kind of fun to do, all right? So if it's more interesting for you guys, you're more likely to do it and stick with it. And of course, your success rate depends upon those 2 things. All right, but before I get into the 6 exercises real quick, just want to mention, we got a fantastic Facebook group. All right, so you guys that are watching right now on YouTube, a lot of you guys have subscribed to this channel, okay? I really encourage you to, I know this is self-serving, but, hit that little thumbs up all right, below this video, and then share it with some of your friends. And then if you haven't subscribed already, hit the subscribe button, because it really helps us out as a company. We'll reach way more men around the world if everybody does that on a regular basis. But our Facebook group is fantastic. It's totally free. We have over 15,000 guys that are just like you. So these are not a bunch of 25, 30-year-old ripped dudes in this group, okay? It's everybody, my age, older than me, a little bit younger than me, same problems, same questions you have. And so just join the group. Click the link below this video, and you have to ask to be let into the group. And wonderful guys that are answering each other's questions, and I'm the moderator. So I'm in there every day, kind of looking through the questions, posting my own answers, posting new information. It's just kind of fun. I promise you'll get a lot out of it. And did I say it's free? Okay, here we go. Let's get into the very first one. All right, this is a curl. I'm going to show you how to do. A lot of the curls that you see guys doing at the gym, serious guys, they're using 2 hands, whether they're doing a bar, okay, or individual dumbbells. It's always a 2-handed deal, and your arms are separated. They're out here, whether you're using dumbbells or a barbell. I want you guys to try this. Just throw it into your bicep, routine, or your arm routine. Use a single dumbbell. All right, this is called a close grip dumbbell curl. So once again, you're just going to use this close grip, and you're just going to grab the dumbbell under the top flange, and you're just going to do a regular dumbbell curl, okay? But see how my forearms are angled inward from the elbows to the dumbbell there? So what I'm doing is I'm putting my muscles, my bicep muscles, in a slightly different angle, okay? I'm doing the curl this way because normally when we're holding a barbell, we're out here, or if we're holding two dumbbells, we're out here, or we're doing alternating. So my forearms are facing either straight forward or slightly outwards on a typical curl, any other typical curl. But when we use a close grip under a single dumbbell, see how the angle has changed? Which means we're just working different areas of the bicep. Yes, you're still getting many of the same bicep fibers. There's a lot of overlap, but we also are calling on new muscle fibers that we don't typically use nearly as much when we have our hands out here in a more traditional setup. Exercise number 2 that I guarantee you you're not doing right now. What is this? This is a cushion. I stole it off my couch. I think it makes the exercise just a little more effective. It gives more range of motion, and I'm going to show you right now how I'm going to implement this. So guys, if you haven't seen a Superman before, you just put the cushion down on the ground, and I'm going to put it basically under my stomach, okay? So a normal Superman would be just this. I arch my back, bring my hands up, and then bring my feet up off the ground, hold it for a couple seconds, and then relax. Now, that may look really easy, but I promise you hold that for 2 or 3 seconds and then do 10 reps of that. It's much harder than you think. But I want you to do a snowman with the Superman. So this is your starting position. So we go up, arms, down, arms, down, arms, down. Ooh. All right, so the thing, guys, is depending on where you put this cushion under you, you might find yourself in an unbalanced position when you arch and you go through your range of motion. So if you're tilting backwards or forwards, all you got to do is just adjust where that cushion is on your body a few inches. Do it again, and then you'll find kind of that perfect teetering point. All right, it's like a teeter-totter almost. Simple as that, guys, and I promise, even though it might look really easy on the camera, when you try this, okay, I want you to leave a comment below this video and tell me what you think. Okay, exercise number 3 is a side lunge. Now, most of the time, you guys are doing forward or rearward lunges. So, your typical lunge is forward and just slightly to the side to give yourself a little width for the balance, okay? Same thing goes with a rear lunge. Side lunges are just that. We're going to lunge directly to one side, bend down, back to the starting point, directly to the side. I want you to try, if you can, come all the way down, all right, until your elbow is hitting your thigh, okay? And then back up. So you come over, and then you slide down, up, over, and down. Side lunges are still working our lower body, right? You're still getting a lot of quad and hamstrings, but you guys are gonna really feel it in your glutes, all right? So even though we're still working the muscles in our lower body, remember, like I started off at the beginning of this video, we're basically hitting these muscles from different angles, which means we're calling on new muscle fibers that we don't always use in the more traditional exercises. And once again, you do these, okay? And even though you might be working out on a regular basis, because it's new muscles that you're using, I promise, you do them hard enough, and especially if you want to hold some dumbbells in your hand, you can do them loaded with weight. You might get sore the next day when normally you don't feel soreness. It's actually a good thing. All right, so exercise number 4 is something called a bird dog with a crunch. All right, Don't need any bands, don't need any dumbbells, just your body weight, all right? Guys, now this is a fun exercise, but it's gonna feel a little awkward and off balance at first, but I promise, just practice a little bit, you'll get the hang of it. So this is basically a donkey kick with an arm lift, all right? So normally a donkey kick would just be one leg at a time, right? All right, easy enough. Well, I'm just gonna incorporate I'm going to incorporate a donkey kick with an arm lift, but it's gotta be opposite side. So right leg back, left arm forward, and you can do them at the same time, alternating, but you can raise your arm and kick your leg back. And then guys, don't kick your leg back low like this. Try to get it high. The higher you get your leg, the more glute and the more lower back you use. You'll feel the muscle way more if you can get your leg really high. Get that foot way up in the air, okay? Do 10 of those on each side and tell me how hard it is. All right, so exercise number 5 has me moving from the den over here to my bands. Guys, I mean, these resistance bands are fantastic. You'd buy them on Amazon for $25. All right, simple as that. I actually have 3 sets. But guys, this exercise is called a rear delt fly. And we're working, there's a little muscle back here on the back side of your shoulders. So your shoulders have got 3 primary muscles, you know, front, side, and rear. And that rear is kind of hard to work, okay? And because it's small, you're not going to be able to do a lot of weight, all right? But I'll guarantee you guys are probably not doing this. Now, I have the anchor set up at a midpoint. You can also do it up higher if you want, all right? It's still going to work the muscle, all right? The same muscle from a slightly different angle, but it's no big deal. So guys, once again, just kind of like all my band exercises, I recommend you step away from the anchor a fair amount so that there's already some tension, all right, at the very beginning of the movement. If I'm too close, the first 50% of the movement, there's going to be basically no resistance from the bands, all right? So we want to feel resistance throughout the full range of motion, okay? So I'm stepping back away from the anchor. I got a pretty good stretch already in the bands, okay? And I'm just going to bring those handles back as far as I can and slowly bring the handles forward. So it's really causing me to have to focus on controlling where my hands are through the full range of motion. Otherwise, I can kind of yank them back and let it go forward. If I do that, I'm basically using a lot of momentum and I'm not hitting the muscle nearly as good as I am slow controlled back and then slow controlled forward. And guys, if you get to the top and really flex it and hold it for just a 1 count, you'll really be able to feel a lot of tension. But just because of the nature of the exercise, we're actually going to be working more muscles than just the rear part of our shoulder. We're going to get a lot of upper back muscles involved at the same time, which is totally fine. But I promise, guys, this is a muscle group that most guys just totally forget about because you can't see it in the mirror. But guys with really big, impressive shoulders, you know, those kind of boulder shoulders, always do this type of exercise. You can do it with dumbbells, bent over. You can do it with flies. You can do it on a cable machine at the gym. But I guarantee you the guys with the really big shoulders throw this into their routine every day that they actually hit shoulders. All right, so the 6th and final exercise that you're probably not doing, but I recommend you at least try it, see how it feels, is a 1-arm chest fly with a band, okay? Typically when we do flies, whether it's with dumbbells or bands, we're doing both hands simultaneously. But I'm going to show you why this can be really effective exercise, and that is because of the range of motion, all right? So I want you to, once again, start off with a little pre-tension here, okay? and turn so that you're facing not exactly 90 degrees here, okay? Turn slightly more, okay? And I'm gonna have to have a nice wide base here because I'm doing one hand, it's gonna put a lot of torque on my upper body. It's gonna wanna make me turn, and I need a wide base. Otherwise, if I have this, it'll just, boop, I'll just slide. So all I'm gonna do is just bring that handle forward and then slightly across, all right? Tempo, and then controlling the resistance throughout the full range of motion is key here, guys. And I'm just using one handle and a single band looped back on itself and then hooked to the same handle, okay? And you're not gonna be able to do a lot of resistance here, guys. Now, a mistake I can see people make is turning too far away from the anchor. So if I start like this, okay, I'll have a lot of tension in my chest. So it's working really good now, right? But then if I keep coming and bring it over, now the band is pulling back, the resistance is pulling straight through my shoulder. All right, so my elbow and my shoulder joint are carrying most of the resistance, and my chest is really not flexed very hard, all right? So, but if I turn this way, you see how it's pulling my hand that way, and my chest is fully flexed right now, okay? And then it's still flexed, and then as I get closer to the handle being next to the anchor, the less resistance I have. And that's just the drawback of resistance bands at home versus those really expensive cable machines at the gym, because when you're at the gym using a cable machine, the resistance doesn't care where your hand is. It's still the same amount of weight on that stack going up and down with a cable going over a pulley. Whereas resistance bands, they get easier and easier the shorter they get, right? The closer you bring the handle back towards the anchor. Very, very minor drawback to doing them at home, especially you guys that have been doing my Fit After 50 program. You know, if you do them right, using bands can really get you an incredible pump and really make those muscles sore for the next couple of days. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed these 6 exercises that I guarantee you most of you are not doing at home on a regular basis. Real straightforward. All you need is some simple dumbbells and some resistance bands. You can do tons of more conventional exercises that are in my program, but still, there's all these fun little things that we can throw in from time to time, and I'm totally fine with you using or adding these exercises into my Fit After 50 program, even where they're not called for, especially when you're working those particular muscle groups. It's fine to throw in extra exercise. I have no problem with that. And remember, guys, you got to stick with it and never give up on yourself.